They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but apparently another rainy start to a week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours in your world since the last time we had the opportunity to spend a little time with you at the end of last week. We start today's show and this day, and I guess technically this week as well, moving into uncharted territory as the Louisiana legislature engages in its first ever in modern times since the adoption of our current Constitution in 1974 with the veto session. You may remember that when Governor John Bel Edwards vetoed 2 particularly of the 28 total bills that he vetoed from the session, I mentioned to you that we'd not seen in any way, shape, or form the last of 2 bills in particular. Obviously, Americans, and certainly Louisianians, really concerned about the increase in crime in our state and our country. And ironically, both of these bills, the concealed carry and the transgender banning against biological individuals in sports, both of these passed with bipartisan support, meaning as controversial as one may think these 2 bills are, both of them had support from both Democrats and Republicans. When Governor John Bel Edwards chose particularly to veto the bill that would have outlawed, banned, prohibited transgender individuals from competing against individuals that were the biological sex, I told y'all then, the governor's reasoning was that, well, this is a solution looking for a problem. All you have to do is look across the country. And you don't have to be Einstein to figure out it's just a matter of time before it's going to be here. Why not go ahead, deal with it once and for all, and be done with it? It is something that falls into that category of the squeaky wheel typically being the one that gets the grease. You will hear individuals that are pushing this agenda the loudest and the longest. Meanwhile, average Louisianians, and in this particular case, Democrats and Republicans, are against it. Now, for the record, let me be the first to say, this is not the first time that a governor, or any other elected official for that matter, will be completely out of touch with the will of the people. It's not the first time, and God knows it is not going to be the last time. Fortunately, we still live in a country and in a state where, when that is recognized, the elected representatives of the people have recourse. Personally, understanding where our state is and understanding fiscally how irresponsible we've been as of late, it pains me to see you and I blessed with the pleasure and the privilege of paying legislators additional money to do what should have been done while they were earning their pay in the regular session. Now again, this is not the first time, it's not going to be the last time. But hopefully, and you know there's going to be a whole lot of arm twisting going on with this. It is part and parcel of Louisiana politics. Behind the scene, there's going to be more arm twisting. There's going to be more high pressure persuasion brought to bear than any of us can count. There's going to be some wheeling and dealing, and some are of the opinion that Governor John Bel Edwards, based on past experience, will use committee assignments, pet projects, promises of future retribution to uphold his vetoes. Whether or not that is the case, only time will tell, and if the past is any indicator, only God will know. Unless, of course, some individual elects to come forward and say, I just want the people to know that I've been threatened with no committee assignments, or I've been threatened with my pet project being vetoed if I don't go along and vote a certain way. Political suicide? Yeah, probably would be. But the fact of the matter is, guys and girls, at the end of the day, listen, we're all grown. We all know these things happen. We all know in closed door sessions and after hours sessions, we all know what goes on. I mean, after all, this is Louisiana. And if you've lived here for any amount of time and you've paid any amount of attention, you know how these things work. But at the end of the day, the only thing that should matter is the will of the people. And quite frankly, of all the things we disagree on in this state, having your daughter relegated to competitive sports against biological males is something the majority of Louisianians are against. With this current increase in crime, if you decide that it's in your best interest to protect you and yours by carrying a weapon concealed, at the end of the day, the will of the people is all that should matter. Of course, now, you can very easily make the argument that the will of the people has been far from the foremost concern of individuals we have elected to serve us over, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 or so years ago. At the end of the day, I will leave to you to decide who shares the lion's share of the blame in that. After all, every 2 years, every 4 years, you and I have the opportunity to elect the individuals that go to the Capitol to represent us. You and I, every 4 years, have the opportunity to elect the individual that will either accept or reject legislation that comes from the legislature. So you could very easily make the argument, ultimately, it falls on us. It's akin to the argument of, Clarence, that's why we need to have term limits. Well, I make the argument that we already have term limits. Every 2 years, every 4 years. If we don't like the job that they're doing, we vote them out. And at the end of the day, if you have someone that you're pleased with, they're doing a bang-up job, do you really want to lose them just because a certain amount of time has passed? Yeah, but Clarence, you got to understand, the longer they stay in there, the more the possibility they're going to become corrupt. Well, there may well be some merit to that argument. But the counter argument to that is, if for 1 minute these elected representatives of the people know that the people are watching every single vote they make, the people have a list of all the times they've gone against their will, that come election day, the term limit stuff will take care of itself. Bottom line, y'all, you and I are the most effective weapon for effective government. If we don't vote the way our conscience tells us to, and more importantly, hold these folks accountable, well, typically you end up getting the government that you deserve. Some of y'all not going to pick up on that until a whole lot later. Hopefully, you'll figure it out before the next election. We're coming up on the first break of today's show. And when we come back, it is, of course, Tuesday, first show of the week. And that means it is time for another edition of what's gotten to be pretty much one of my favorite segments. Now, that's just stupid. And today, we get to go all around the world. Typically, you know, it's right coast, left coast, east coast, west coast. Well, yeah, Florida man too. But the insanity, it's worldwide now. And if you haven't experienced it already, keep breathing. Coming soon to a city near you. Now that's just stupid. That's up next after our first break of today's show on the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. It is Tuesday, and of course, the second segment of today's show. If you are new to the show, happen to be channel surfing, and remember your buddy Clarence from radio days, like, wow, oh, he's on TV now. Okay, let me tune in. In response to the ever-growing, ever-expanding increase in stupidity in our country, we have instituted this new segment entitled, Now That's Just Stupid. You'll notice the graphic that was up is not spelled the traditional way. S-T-U-P-I-D is just regular, run-of-the-mill, average, ordinary, stupid. But as you've probably witnessed, certainly in this country and around the world, just when you thought we couldn't get any more stupid, along comes, insert story here, an entirely different level of stupid, hence the spelling S-T-O-O-P-I-D. We start, surprise, surprise, with the Olympics. Just when you thought allowing a biological male, a dude, to compete in powerlifting against females because said dude identifies as a woman, just when you thought that would have to be the stupidest thing to come out of the Olympics, along comes the anti-sex beds. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know how many of you are aware, but for years now, when the Olympics would roll around and you would have this gathering of young, virile, athletic competitors, all thrown together from all around the world in one place, there's the possibility there's going to be some sex going on. Imagine that. So in recent years, in an effort to put a halt to all of this, the Olympics have been handing out to the participants hundreds of thousands of condoms. We were told when this first started that it was to bring awareness to HIV and AIDS and the dangers of having unprotected sex. So sure enough, sure as shooting, this year, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, true to form, handed out hundreds of thousands of condoms. Here's where it gets stupid. Additionally, this year in Tokyo, the IOC decided we don't want to send the wrong message. If we give them condoms, maybe they'll think we're encouraging them to have sex. So we'll give them the condoms, but we're also going to tell them not to use them, number one. And number two, more important, we're going to give them, wait for it, anti-sex beds. I told you, you can't make this stuff up. The participants in this year's Olympics will reportedly, according to some Spanish news outlets, they will be sleeping on beds that are made of cardboard. The cardboard is only rigid enough to hold the weight of one person. And if the bed, corrugated paper, as it's made out of, if you make any sudden or forceful movements on the bed, it will collapse. Hence, anti-sex bed. Well, that'll solve the problem. Oh, dude, we fixed that. What's the next problem on the list to fix? I mean, after all, we all know mankind as a species has not evolved to the point where, I don't know, some people might have sex on the floor, unless they're going to make the floor out of cardboard too. Maybe some people might decide to have sex on the table. Not that Alan knows anything about that or anything, but that's what Marty told him. Some people might decide that, you know, we could have sex in the shower, standing up. Anti-sex beds. I know for a fact that many people of my generation, the boomers, we are of the opinion that a lot of young people these days, they're not that bright. They're not that smart. I mean, they've been dumbed down, indoctrinated through a substandard system of education. And many of us boomers are of the opinion that young people nowadays don't have a clue. So much stuff they can't figure out. Listen, y'all, having sex, that ain't one of them. Having sex is not one of those things that young people haven't figured out how to do without a bed. Come on, y'all, really? It's interesting. I would love to know how much money they spent on that. And how many people, young people, thrown together, once in a lifetime opportunity from all corners of the globe, how many of them that were going to have sex decided, son of a gun, now we can't do it? They gave us a cardboard bed. It might be funny if it weren't so stupid. From the Olympics, we come back to the good old US of A. Great Lakes region, known for the vastness of its expanse, noted for great fishing, noted for a wide diversity in the fishery. Also, by the way, noted for the invasive species of the Asian carp. You know where this is going, right? You know where this is going, right? It got so bad, has gotten so bad in portions of the Great Lakes, that they've launched a public service campaign to kill the Asian carp. It's destroying the waterways. It's wiping out native indigenous species, and we need to do something about it. So folks there decided we need to launch this campaign to kill Asian carp. And I guess, like Louisiana, you have individuals that will make destination trips. They will come for the fishing. They'll come to Louisiana because they, man, I heard the redfish in there. It's just amazing. We need to get the boys together. We'll take a trip to Louisiana and we'll go. Same thing in the Great Lakes region. So they put up the signs at the airports, kill Asian carp. If you catch them, kill them. Don't put them back in the waterway because it's destroying the Great Lakes. Well, an Asian delegation came to visit. You know where this is going, right? You know where this is going. And of course, they were insulted when they saw the sign, kill Asian carp. So in the Great Lakes region now, the Asian carp has been officially renamed as the invasive carp. Yeah, that'll fix it. That'll fix it. Did they not stop and ask themselves, the invasive carp that's from where? Did they not think that if anyone that caught it and said, well, I saw the sign, I want to be sure to not harm the fisheries here and the indigenous species. By the way, where did this carp come from? Of course, now, you could probably make the same argument about COVID. Just saying. Just saying. By the way, they have empaneled a group now whose mission is to go through the tens of thousands of birds, insects, fish, pretty much all wildlife, and take the names of any that could be considered offensive and change them. The word police. Of course, now, if you change that, what's next? How we think? What's next? What we can think? What's next? What we can say? Oh, wait, too late. They're already working on that. Speaking of which, bottom of the hour break. The most transparent administration in history got real transparent at the end of last week when they let everybody know, yeah, we are working with Facebook to eliminate the misinformation regarding COVID on social media. You transparent, all right. We can see right through you. We're going to talk about that next when we come back on the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. At the end of last week, there was, for freedom-loving Americans, a troubling development. Speaking to reporters, Jen Psaki, White House spokesperson, made no bones about the fact that the White House has been actively working with Facebook and others, by the way, to halt the spread of misinformation regarding COVID-19. President Joe Biden said that Facebook's spreading of misinformation is killing people. And as a result, the White House, in an effort to save lives, is flagging posts on Facebook, letting Facebook know, y'all need to censor this, in an effort to save lives. It has also been revealed that the White House is not just pressuring the likes of Facebook, they are also exerting pressure on your cell phone carriers, those that engage in text messaging, to keep an eye on the text messages regarding COVID-19, and those that are spreading misinformation, to censor them. It's one thing for the White House to not trust the American people to have the intelligence to make a decision for themselves. But it's something else entirely for the White House to use what is arguably one of the most persuasive tools for average, everyday Americans to steer the narrative they want you to hear. Whatever happened to give me the facts or simply put the information out there and let me decide what I believe? You know what's so ironic here? The White House pledged to be the most transparent administration in history. And now we find out you have been actively engaged in denying me information just because you don't agree with it. I guess I missed where it actually happened. But who died and made you, the grand poobah, in charge of all truth? Where is it written in the Constitution that you vowed to uphold that the government has the right to be the official arbiter of truth? You know what's even more scary than this? If you get to decide what I can see, you get to decide what is truth regarding COVID-19, then what's next? You see where this goes? COVID-19 is what it is. But when the White House decides, we should be able to decide what you read about COVID-19. How long before the White House decides, we should be able to decide what you can or cannot read about anything else? You know, there is something to be said about the dumbing down of America. There is something to be said about how far we have tumbled in the world's educational attainment rankings. There's something to be said about, I can't believe, and Clarence, you see it just like everybody else. You got a whole segment entitled, "Now that's just stupid." It's one thing to bemoan the fact that, my God, we have become so stupid in this country. But to think that the most transparent administration in history would exert undue pressure on social media and cell phone carriers to limit what you are allowed to say about COVID should scare the bejesus out of you. I coined a phrase years ago that says, freedoms and liberties encroached upon by government are seldom, if ever, returned intact. Meaning, let government take a liberty or a freedom from you under whatever guise. Oh, we got to keep y'all safe. Oh, we're just trying to save the planet. Oh, we're doing it for the children. Pick one, anyone. Let them take that freedom or that liberty, and you'll never see it again. More importantly, let them take one and watch how quickly they come for another. Whatever happened in this country to, you know what? I'm smart enough to figure out the truth for myself. Whatever happened to, I'm smart enough to look at a whole list of things, do my own freaking research, and say, you know what? This is not true. I don't believe that. This is true. I believe that. This right here, I'm not sold on it just yet. I got to do some more research. Whatever happened to that? The White House, this administration, apparently is of the opinion that one, either y'all too stupid to do that, or number two, you don't need to worry about doing that because we got it covered. We got it covered for you. Technically, they are true about one thing. The most transparent administration in history. Yeah, you are that, because we can see clean through you. We can see right through the facade that you put up every single day. Doesn't take much. You can close one eye, cock your head, and look at it from around the corner, and you can still see right through you. All of a sudden now, you get to be the ultimate arbiter of the truth. Y'all do realize that if you fall for this, and you've seen it ad nauseum, day one of Donald Trump's presidency, it is essential to the survival of this republic to have a free and open press. Do away with that, and you can attack this country's ever-eroding base pretty much unimpeded. For the White House to do it is one thing. For them to be so comfortable that they come out and tell you they're doing it, that's supposed to tell you everything you need to know, son. Can you imagine growing up as a kid? You did something that you knew was against the rules of the household. Mom had told you, dad had told you, older brother, sister, they'd all told you, mama don't play that. You decide to do it anyway. And when mama asked you about it, what'd you say? Yeah, I did it. Who was it? Was it Bill Cosby? Talked about sick and tired. He just, growing up, he knew when he had approached a certain point because his mom would tell him, boy, I'm getting sick and tired of having to tell you about this. So one day, he's doing something that he knew was in violation of the rules of the household. Mama told him, said, Bill, I'm getting sick, and he said, and tired And Bill said, when I woke up, yeah, you get it, knocked him stone cold out. If you don't think that our government has no qualms and no problems overreaching its authority, go on Facebook, check your text messages, and see what you are, and more importantly, are not allowed to write or say about COVID-19. If this is allowed to stand, y'all, you know what's next. You can't even think it. I mean, after all, writing something is pretty much just a natural progression of what you think. If you can tell folks what you can write, not going to be too long before they can tell you what you can think. And if you're saying, oh, Clarence, come on now, you take the tin foil off, start looking around at preferred pronouns. You know, people that are guys but think they're girls. And if you don't call them by a feminine pronoun, you can lose your job. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done. Talk about a very, very troubling story right here in the capital city. That's next when we come back on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Thank you, Marty. Yeah, we're back. Good thing I was looking up at the monitor. White people can't find good help anywhere. I saw this story over the weekend, and listen, y'all, I get it. If you are younger than a baby boomer, just keep living, okay? If, for whatever reason, you have yet to realize that things change no matter what, just keep breathing. If you stick around long enough, you will notice these things. And if you're younger than boomers, then you have heard, God knows how many times, we boomers and those of the greatest generation will proclaim it truly is a different day. Typically, you will see some things that happen in society. And if you stick around long enough, you cannot relate to them in any way, shape, or form because it is completely different from the way you were raised. Recently, in Zachary, Louisiana, there was an incident there that once again confirmed in no uncertain terms that it truly is a different day. I am not going to attempt to try and put a finger on the number of young men, percentage-wise, that as a teenager snuck into a girl's home to see her, knowing all along, number one, you have no business there. Number two, if that girl's parents find out that you're in their home uninvited, there's going to be a problem. Well, recently, 17-year-old Nicholas McWhorter decided that it would be a good idea to sneak into the home of a 34-year-old man, uninvited, to see his 14-year-old daughter. This 17-year-old, using a ladder, climbed the ladder to a second-floor window and proceeded to engage in a visitation with the homeowner's 14-year-old daughter. Neighbors, because it was broad daylight, saw this person climbing a ladder, entering the second floor window of the homeowner's home, called him and alerted him, and he, of course, doing what any parent would do, finding out that there is someone in their home, uninvited, and in a room with his 14-year-old daughter, confronted the 17-year-old. An argument ensued. Shots were fired, and the 34-year-old homeowner is now dead. Desmond Cage, the homeowner, doing nothing more than trying to preserve the sanctity of his home, is now dead. The 17-year-old, by the way, who shot this homeowner, the 17-year-old is charged with second-degree murder, which, by the way, in Louisiana carries mandatory life with no probation, no pardon, no parole. He is also charged with illegal use of a weapon and, surprise, surprise, illegal possession of stolen firearms. Now, it wasn't enough that this 17-year-old had no problem entering this man's home uninvited in unsupervised visitation with a 14-year-old, but chose to come there armed and armed with a stolen gun. I'm going to stop before I get myself in trouble. And I will just suffice it to say, if you hadn't figured out yet that it truly is a different day, I don't know what else will tell you. I don't. A man doing nothing more than trying to preserve the sanctity of his home is killed by an individual 17 years of age, uninvited, with a stolen gun. By the way, Bill Profita of the Exiles fame is up next immediately after yours truly. He would consider it an honor. I'd consider it a personal favor if you stuck around and enjoyed the Exiles today. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue, is where we are every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you're looking for some really good people serving some really good food in a really good atmosphere, this is the place for you. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Time's up, y'all. And as I go, once again, I give it to you. This day, maybe more so than any other. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.